Hey guys, this is going to be episode 2, part 1. Yes, there's going to be 2 parts this week. In this particular 2-part episode, I built the transmission for my current drag car project. Enjoy. Again with some more voiceover. Sorry about this, guys. We're doing the transmission today, and this is, it takes long enough that it's going to be a 2-part video. Got the dust cover and the 2 halves of the transmission out of this bag. This bag has the slipper clutch assembly in it, and some of the internals. All the screws and miscellaneous hardware. Bearings, and there's 2 little Teflon washers in there. And those are the half of the drive shafts that attach to the transmission itself. When you put the bearings in, they should not necessarily just fall into place loosely. They should just fit snugly, but easily press into place. Make sure that you don't get them cattywampus, because things will come apart. You can see how they're sitting flush in there. Repeat on the other side. This is, I believe it was the input shaft that the slipper clutch is going to go onto. That should be pressed together for you. If it's not, there may be something wrong. You should probably contact Traxxas about it. This is kind of like an assembly lube slash gear oil that is going to be inside the transmission to keep everything from grinding itself up. Doing it below the camera like an idiot. I was orienting the transmission case half as it was in the book. That way I can easier see where to put this. Checking to see if the epoxy in that differential was dry yet, which it was. And here I was trying to find something I could set this on where that input shaft would not be pushing out. And then, hold on a second, I had a bright idea. Let's go get an axle nut socket out of my toolbox. This is the idler gear for the transmission. You'll see me to put two bearings in there and set it down in there. Again, they shouldn't require hardly any force to pop into place. If you have to force it, something's wrong. Stop and double check what you're doing. The axle that rides on is hollow. There's going to be a screw that goes through to hold the two cases together. These two Teflon washers are also going to go on the either side of that idler gear. Right here is a good tip. If you happen to drop something, don't immediately try to grab it because you will launch it across the room and you'll never find it. Just watch it to see where it goes and go get it. I lost my assembly lube. There it is. Doesn't take much. You can see right there I put just about the size of a pea on there and that's it. That's all you need. Now watch me screw up putting it in. See, it fell apart. That's how loose the bearings should be in all the idler gear. You can turn it over and it'll slowly fall out. Okay, here we go. Now everything's going together right. I always try to work clean, but once in a while it's inevitable, so keep a rag around just in case. Now it's time for the epoxy locker diff. It's solid, it'll only move as one piece, it'll never spin independently. And you'll see me put some more lube on there. On this one I did it in a couple of different places just to get everything covered quickly and evenly. At the end of this project I still had right about half of the shock oil it came with left and most of that tube of lube. And I will keep that around just in case I need to take this apart, redo it, do touch up, whatever. Now it's time to actually close the transmission up. Make sure everything's lined up. When you get the two halves together, give it a spin, make sure nothing's binding. If it is, take it apart, figure out what you did wrong. You can see me spinning it here to make sure there's no binding. Figure out a good angle where you can see both input and output shafts. Plus, giving it a couple of spins prematurely will get everything coated in that grease as well. You'll see me put these screws in a few different times. That's to make sure that the right length of screw is in the right position. There are a couple of different lengths of screws for this thing, and they need to be in their actual home or it will not stay together. And this thing, I'm tired of the point hurting my hand. I decided to use a drill. However, my drill is a clutch type drill. Don't ever just ram on it. Set the clutch to its minimum setting, and if you're still not comfortable, don't use it. Use the tools it came with. Again, if you drop a screw, watch where it goes. Don't try to catch it. It'll benefit you more in the long run to just watch where it goes and then follow it. And then once you get the screws in, double check that it's not binding once again. If it is, take it apart, figure out why. I noticed due to the castings of the plastic that the very tips of it are kind of not sitting flat. This is, I don't know if it's normal or not, but it's fine. It's not going to hurt anything to be that way. I did notice after I got everything together that they did go ahead and pull up to each other. This is a dust cover. It's going to go on the bottom. It's going to keep dust and debris out and away from all the gears inside. And it is quite sticky. You'll see it stick to my finger when I try to get it stuck to the piece. Oops. Last piece that's going to be in this video is this piece. The pinion gear, as opposed to the slipper clutch. Traxxas sends you that piece to automatically line everything up. You don't have to try to do any kind of gear meshing or anything like that. It just automatically sits in place for you. If you're gonna change gear ratios or anything like that, you won't be using this piece. And eventually I will take it out and not use it either. Kind of hard to see as it is in this part of the video, but it's got an orientation. When you put it in there, it's actually going to sit in place in a specific orientation, as you can see here. Alright, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and check back later this week for part 2. See ya.